Today on the news and why it matters, Iranian missiles were launched and President Trump is a warmonger. Does this mean it's World War III? We'll see about that. We've got a lot coming up. You don't want to miss it, and it starts right now. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez. Today, I feel like it's just my lucky week. I've got Glenn Beck, third day in a row.
Wow, isn't that lucky?
Even the view.
Yeah, I wish my wife still felt that way. You're back again. Oh, I just went to work, honey. Oh, okay.
It's your 20th anniversary today, by the way. Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
That's a big one. I can't believe she's
still with me.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with her, but I'm going to untie her and take her to dinner tonight and celebrate our 20th. And Friday is my 20th anniversary in talk radio.
Wow.
And that, I can't believe, has flown by so fast. Just so fast.
Well, congratulations on both of those. We've got Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show here on BlazeTV.
And you're welcome, Sarah, and you're welcome, America.
And wherever you get your podcast. And Blaze.com's own Aaron Colin.
It's your lucky day.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is the trifecta.
Before we get into it, we just want to thank our sponsor, My Patriot Supply. Glenn, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a prepper are you? 11?
I would say 11.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I haven't done is learn how to actually use the surgical kit. I was up at the ranch and I'm going through all of the prepping stuff that I've got, and I pulled this thing out, and I'm like, okay, this is the surgical kit. And I open it up, and it's got all the scalpels and everything, and I'm just like, I hope to God I never have to use this.
You should shoot Stu.
I'll dig it out.
Test it out. But I mean, in all seriousness, I'm not a prepper. I still believe you've got to have at least, 2-3 weeks worth of
3 weeks is really good. 6 months
emergency food
is probably really, really good. A year is what I like, because I could feed my family. I'd lose my job and feed my family for a year. It's bizarre how when I hit the year and I sat down on my basement stairs and I looked at all of the boxes, and it was like this weight of a dad that just came off of me. I was like, I could die and my family will at least have food for a year. They might be living in, like a cardboard box built of all of those boxes, but
it's very optimistic there, Glenn. Thank you for that. In all seriousness, though, you don't know when, some sort of emergency is going to happen. You have to prepare ahead of time.
Think of what happened last night. We were talking about, I got calls and they were like, Glenn, they could cyber attack. They're good at cyber attack. If they would have hit us with cyber attack last night,
Governor Abbott said that they were trying. Texas specifically.
I mean, what happens?
Yeah.
What are you going to get? Where are you going to get your food?
Yeah, you want to be prepared. That's not the kind of thing that you want to just leave by the wayside until it happens. Right now, you can go to preparewithglenn.com. You can save 40% on these food kits. It's 2 weeks of emergency food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 40% off. You don't want to miss out on this. This week, go to preparewithglenn.com to save that 40% right now. You're going to thank him. You're going to thank us whenever it happens and you've got your emergency food kit. So last night, Iran launched ballistic missiles at an Iraq base. U.S. troops, Iraqi troops, everyone there. And no Americans were killed. I heard that there were, 30-something Iraqis who were injured, but no Americans were killed. And if you turned on the mainstream media, you would have thought that this was this was the beginning of the end.
I had really smart people on my research team, really smart people, 3 of them, going out, on text, and everybody were in this texting, and I finally jump on and I'm like, dudes, relax, relax. We don't know anything yet. We don't know anything yet. And Jason was saying, ballistic missiles, there's something wrong. Ballistic missiles, cruise missiles will target. Ballistic missiles we can shoot down. And that was the first sign that they're not hitting anything. They're not serious about this.
Right.
I think this is a great day. Today. Tomorrow they might do something else, but today was a great day.
But I mean, you say tomorrow they might do something else. I mean, they've been doing things.
Oh, yeah,
right. I mean, they've been launching attacks on us. They've been launching missiles. So that wouldn't be really out of the ordinary, and it certainly wouldn't be anything that we would have started with Trump killing Soleimani. Chad?
Yeah, I caught some heat because of the jokester I got onto Twitter as soon as we heard that, and I said, Persian women, when you unwrap them, are very hot. Let's go liberate some ladies. And of course, people said, well, our troops are under attack. That's not appropriate. Well, they've been under attack.
Yeah.
They have been for a long, long time and will continue to be. We've seen that. But I felt at ease when I, like you, learned what type of missiles they were firing. I had friends all the way from Major League ball players that were sending me text messages going, oh my God, what's going on? And I said, these are going to be strategic misses. And it'll be dependent on how we react to this. I said, we'll chalk this up as a win for the U.S. and for Trump.
And so the problem is when you get on Twitter and a lot of people get their news from there, and so you follow this as it goes moment by moment, and you see reports. There's 20 people killed, and there's more attacks coming, and people panic. And so as you go through the cycle, people are so eager to put a take out there. What this means, why this is Trump's fault, why it was a mistake for him to kill Soleimani because this is happening. That we don't even get the information. People won't wait 5 minutes to say what actually happened. And it's so damaging because people are so worked up, and then after the fact, they want to cover the fact that they were so worked up by making up some sort of take why it's still bad. And so they try to double down on the fact that, well, this is still a disaster, even though actually, like you said, best case scenario, it couldn't have really ended better than this, given what was going on.
We got a really bad guy taken out of the mix. We have taken that regime and shook them in their boots. Right? This was an act of please don't hurt us last night. Okay, so we changed the dynamic from what has been a GOP nation building to then total cowardice and weakness to now that speech that he gave today, with an exception of he didn't mention the people in Iraq or in Iran, which I would have liked to seen him do. That was one of the best, most effective speeches I've ever seen him give, and maybe since Reagan. He walked out this morning, and the first thing he said was, "We will not let this stand." Good morning. Yeah. I've never heard that's a performer. That's somebody who knows how to structure something. He came to the podium, and that's the first thing he said. You're never getting nuclear weapons. Then he said his good morning, and then he went right into a powerful speech.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of Trump's speech that he delivered this morning. Watch.
To the people and leaders of Iran, we want you to have a future, and a great future, one that you deserve, one of prosperity at home and harmony with the nations of the world. The United States is ready to embrace peace with all who seek it.
What a warmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll attack him for what he said about how we spent $2.3 trillion on our military. Yeah. But that is strength through peace. He put the entire world on notice. You don't think that Kim Jong-un and others around the world didn't see Soleimani's death and go, holy cow.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Whoa, what a racist.
Well, I've already undressed the Persian women in my head, so there's that.
I mean, that is remarkable. So all of our enemies know we can kill you and you'll never see it coming anywhere in the world. Not only that, but then when he went on to say, hey, NATO, England, Germany, France, we don't need this oil anymore. We're energy independent. You better step to the plate because we ain't doing it. And then we've got hypersonic weapons in development, and we will use them. We don't want to, but we will. That changed the dynamic.
Yeah. Aaron, what did you think of the speech?
I thought the speech was good, and I think it shows that we don't, as a nation, have to overreact to what Iran is doing. We don't have to feel like we have to retaliate against them and blow up oil fields and do all kinds of this stuff to be strong. We just have to say, this is our position. We will retaliate and defend ourselves if we need to, but we're not going to go overboard to start some extra conflict. We're not interested in intervening in this thing in more of a way than we need to. We're just interested in holding our own ground, maintaining our peace, defending our allies. And so that sets a standard to where we can potentially have peace even against a nation that's not going to be our ally. We're not going to have a treaty with them, but they know that they cannot come and just do whatever they want to us with no consequences.
I've been waiting for a president to say, since 9/11, and I was for the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and that was a mistake. What we need to have is a president who says, you kill American citizens or American military, we're going to pound you. And it'll take us about 25 minutes. And then we're gone. And you won't be there. And that's the Trump policy. As long as you're not killing our people, oh, you shot a drone out of the sky. Well, that cost us some money, but you shot a drone out of the sky. You kill one American, and we are going to rain down just hellfire on your head, and then we're going to go home and we're not going to think about it again. That's the kind of policies that we should have. That unless you are interrupting our business in a dramatic scale, or you take or kill one of our citizens.
Yeah. Hardcore leftists obviously are not going to be moved by anything that Trump has to say. They're always going to say everything that he does is bad. You know, Trumpers that will just agree with everything he does, they're going to agree with everything he does. But Chad, what do you think this does for the people that are in the middle?
Well, first of all, hardcore leftists think that men still get their periods. So they can't figure out if it's a war hero or a general, right, when it comes to Soleimani. They're confused folks. The folks in the middle have got to wake up to the realization, again, I've said it a million times, Trump is not some far-right extremist. He's not a warmonger. He is actually a pretty peaceful-seeking person. Yes, he's America first, and he is going to put this nation in front of everything and protect it at all costs. And that's what we're seeing, this promise of a Carthaginian peace. Not only are we going to bomb the snot out of you and just plow your fields up, we're going to pour salt on it so nothing grows there ever again. You've got to look at this and say, today I'm happy and proud to be an American. I'm thankful that I have a leader who's in place. I mean, do you want a dancing around Elizabeth Warren who is just, I mean, is that a look of strength? And I will remind everybody, it's not hard to go back and find the clip of Hillary Clinton saying, if I'm elected president, we will attack Iran. Those were her exact words. You'll see it tonight if you watch the Chad Prather show. We had Clint Emerson, who is a warfighter. He was Navy SEAL. He spent time in the region. He was DOD Black Ops, covert operator. This guy, we break it down of talking about the Iranian state, the Iranian leadership versus the Iranian people. Don't get confused. Those in the middle, don't get confused when you see thousands of people showing up at Soleimani's funeral. You got to understand, these folks aren't turning out because they love the man. They turn it out because they get publicly punished if they don't.
But I think that's also reasonable to believe in a country that size that there are a million people that are hardliners and they really did love the person. You know, look how many people in pussy hats came out. I mean, that doesn't mean that everybody in America agrees with that. Far from it.
Yeah.
Far from it. You know, it's not telling the real story.
Who was it? MSNBC that was just broadcasting?
Oh, yeah, state television.
Yeah.
State television.
I think of this.
It's incredible.
That's like if we killed Heydrich, the guy who, you know, was the SS and then did all the slaughter in Poland. We assassinated him, who he was assassinated, and then our television programs or our radio programs just broadcast his funeral from Nazi Germany into America.
Who was that for? Like, what was the audience for that wanted to see that funeral and wanted to see coverage of him as a hero and see how much he was revered and all that? I don't know who that was for.
The 3 people who read the New York Times.
How many times have you played that game where if you could go back in time and do this, would you do it? For instance, would you go back and assassinate Hitler if you knew what you knew now, but you could go back, or bin Laden? And we have the Secretary of Defense who comes out yesterday and says, this wasn't a matter of weeks, this was a matter of days before something major was about to happen. It was all because of this man, Soleimani. So we took action on that. Now, after the fact, we would have been saying, well, why didn't he do something about this guy?
Yeah, great
One way or
point.
another, you lose.
Yeah. All right, back in a minute.
They brought up, I think it was Slate, brought up Heydrich.
Before we get back into the program, we would like to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor, who I guess could probably be thanked for Glenn's positive mood today. Yes? No?
Well, yes and no. I mean, lots of things-
positive-ish mood.
Yeah, lots of things may be positive today, but not being in pain is one of them. I'm trying to remember. Has it been 2 years or 3 years since I've been taking it? 2 years?
Yeah.
I started taking it around Christmas time 2 years ago, and I was at the end of my rope, and it was my lovely wife who was the one who said, I'm not listening anymore if you're not willing to try everything. And so I tried it begrudgingly. It's not going to work. It's all natural crap. I need narcotics or something. and I didn't want to take narcotics, but I was at that point. I tried Relief Factor. Haven't looked back. 2 years into it, I still take it twice a day. I take it once at breakfast, once at dinner, and I'm telling you, my life has changed.
You can thank Relief Factor for the fact that you're celebrating your 20th anniversary, because Tanya
might have divorced me.
Yeah, she can stand you now thanks to Relief
yeah.
Factor. Get a 3-week quick start pack. 70% of the people who try that, they keep ordering more because it works for that many people. It can work for you. You can go to relieffactor.com. It's $19.95. That is worth it if it gets you out of pain. It is life-changing. Relieffactor.com, or you can call 800-500-8384. Before we move on, just kind of want to get your quick thoughts on the Ukrainian Boeing 737 that crashed in Iran shortly after the missiles were launched. Iran said that they would not turn over the black box to Boeing or Ukraine for analysis. And Iran's official state news agency said that the plane crashed because of an engine fire, so a technical fault. And it, of course, they didn't give any explanation as to how they reached that conclusion. Glenn, what are your thoughts?
Well, it exploded in the sky. Mm-hmm. Now, that could be done from, jet fuel, but it's pretty hard to light that stuff up. Mm-hmm. I don't know enough to, a responsible person would say, let's wait and see. Mm-hmm. But I'm not always a responsible person. I'm guessing that this could be a trigger-happy guy. They were 8 minutes out from the airport. They were taking off. Might have been an engine fire, but the black box makes me suspicious that it was somebody who was like, I don't know, is that a plane? Is that a friendly or not? Because it was in the heat of the battle, and it could have very easily been a mistake.
That is what makes it weird, Chad, right? I mean, you'd think that they just give the black box over.
Yeah, well, a lot of things that make it weird. That certainly is a sign of supposed guilt there. But, first of all, if you don't think that this is an undeveloped, backwards country let's talk about what it is. Do they have capabilities? Yeah. But who sends out a commercial airplane that fast in the middle of a bomb attack when you're sending missiles out, when you probably have all of your own missile protection in place and very wary of anything that's coming in or going out, and you're watching this? So it's pretty suspicious on that. But on another note, I'm seeing the pictures of, here are these Iranian men who are carrying away these people who died in this crash in body bags, and they're picking up literally the pieces of bodies. And you realize these men are humans. They're human citizens in Iran. They're dealing with life the same way we do. Now they're in the middle of this crisis doing that. My heart really kind of went out to the people of Iran caught in the middle of this, because now they're just like you and me in that regard. A different mindset, but I mean, that's an Eastern mindset versus a Western mindset. Of course we've got that, but still you're dealing with humanity. And humanity is everywhere. It's all across the country. So you got to remember, this isn't just a us against them thing. There are people involved.
Yeah, and for the sake of the families of the people who are on that plane, they should know what happened. Right. And, the timing of it, the video, you see a plane on fire in the sky with that timing, with what was going on. There are a lot of questions about it. And I think, for the sake of the people mourning somebody who they lost in that situation, I think we deserve to know what happened and why that plane went down.
Most likely it was just some sort of catastrophic failure. But I have to tell you, if you want to join the community of nations, you want to be a decent, deemed decent humans that are running a nation, you turn the black box over. Yeah. Just turn it over.
Yeah. CNN's Jake Tapper kind of had it out with Eric Swalwell, our favorite farter, Eric Swalwell, on the Democrats' impeachment stalling gambit failing after Mitch McConnell, of course, announced that Republicans had enough votes to set their own trial rules. Here's just a little bit of that back and forth. Watch.
With all due respect, this leverage gambit does not seem to have worked.
Well, he should still just do the right thing. Having the votes is one thing, but if you have a key witness that the House was not able to obtain, who is now saying he's willing to come forward, the right thing seems to be, well, let's hear from this witness.
I guess I wonder just like what world you guys live in if you think that the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts is going to get his robe dirty with the political tenor of this, or Mitch McConnell is going to feel in any way pressured to do the trial the way House Democrats want to do it, when this is a guy that wouldn't even have a hearing for Merrick Garland. I mean, I understand you live in a world where you think things should be in a certain way, but that's not the world that I live in.
Yeah, well, I live in a world where these senators have constituents to answer to, and my hope is that they will be calling their senators and saying, in any trial, when you have a witness come forward who has seen a lot, who called this Ukraine scheme a drug deal, you should allow that person to testify. I hope the phones are ringing right now and senators are still persuaded by what their constituents actually think.
Do you want to just bang your head against a wall when you hear this?
Yeah.
No, don't really do it, Chad.
Not going to hurt a thing.
Because Tapper wasn't even saying, he wasn't even saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, what needs to be said by every pundit on the right when they get into this. Well, we tried to call Bolton and we couldn't do it. So you still have subpoena power. Mm-hmm. You haven't released the articles of impeachment. Why aren't you calling him? The Senate doesn't have to call him. They don't even have the articles of impeachment. Mm-hmm. So what do you say? You send those articles over, then you can answer that question or ask that question. Until that time, why don't you just subpoena him?
Right. Yeah. Chad?
I think he should have just farted. Like right in the middle of a controversy. Like if you're just like, the world I live in is, just go at it, right? That just ends all conversations.
It would have probably made more sense than what he said.
Probably so.
Yeah.
It's funny he's talking about, well, just because they have the votes, they should do the right thing. Well, we weren't hearing that when we were going through all those hearings. Mm-hmm. Democrats had their votes and they did exactly what they want with them. So why can they now say, Republicans, just because they have the votes, they should do what we want? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's the old game that the Democrats used to play because they had the media on their side. They still have the media on their side, but the American people are no longer on the side of the media.
Mm-hmm. And I want to hear Bolton testify. I'd like to hear what he has to say just for the sake of transparency and truth. Mm-hmm. Everybody who testified was talking about what did Bolton say, what did Bolton have to do with it. And so he knows things that we need to know, whether it's in favor of Trump or against Trump. But I don't see any reason why McConnell should play their game, or why he should be like, do the right thing. The right thing is whatever they vote to do, because that's how the process is set up. So.
Yeah. Chad, I think I said this yesterday, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So when the House did their whole investigation, they chose not to call a whole bunch of people that they could have called. Now the tables have turned on them. Do you think that we should have this whole big trial where all of these witnesses are called up, or do you think that?
Now, me on a personal level, no. On a personal level, I'd like to see it. I agree with Aaron on that. I want to see it. Let's listen to it. Let's hear what's there. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to hide. You got a couple of people who were on a phone call. You got President Trump. You got President Zelensky. There were two people who could tell you what was on that phone call: Trump and Zelensky.
And the transcript.
And the transcript. We've read the transcript. So now, if somebody has something to add to that, I want to hear. If we're going to waste all of this time, the dollars, and all of this hot air, and I don't mean the Swalwell kind, but just the rhetoric, then let's get into this thing and let's boil it down. Let's break it down. Call the witnesses, whoever we need.
All of them.
So, okay.
All of them.
So you want the whole, everything.
I want all of them.
Fine, like full trial.
Yeah, we're going to break some news in I think about 2 weeks on Biden that is shocking, totally shocking. Yeah, you want to call Bolton? Great. Let's call the Bidens.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. All right, back in a minute.
Unfortunately.
So about that announcement we keep talking about.
Oh, geez, not again.
Here's the announcement. There is an announcement that there will be an announcement at some point in the near future.
You know who that's to blame with this? Stu. Stu is to blame.
And he's not here, so we get to blame him, and he can't even say anything back about it.
That's right.
So we'll keep you posted. We promise. We will let you know as soon as we can. But in the meantime, don't forget you can go to BlazeTV.com, catch Overtime there. You can listen to it wherever you find your podcast, or you can see our smiling faces at BlazeTV.com. Use promo code NEWS and you will get $10 off of your annual subscription. Coming up, pictures of Bill Clinton on the Lolita Express. Chad.
I'm a little turned on right now, just thinking about it.
Have you read the story yet?